Well, hello there, motherfuckers, and today was the day. Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. The trailer has been released. And, just got done watching it a few moments ago. Waited till I got home from work. Didn't want to watch it on my phone. Wanted to watch it on the computer on my desktop and, see it in all its glory. And it looks like it's going to have a lot of interesting stuff in it. Now, obviously, we can't judge it based on a teaser trailer. I mean, that's, it's not giving us a lot to go by. They flashed a lot of different images. Got a lot of different, audio bits here and there. And one familiar voice right at the end of the trailer presentation. And it was not Mark Hamill that I'm referring to, but Ian McDiarmid, who played the Emperor. Now, a lot of people are saying that the Emperor is going to return. Well, I don't think he's going to physically return. You see, he's dead, and I think that J.J. Abrams is going to respect the fact that he is dead, and they're probably going to use him as a spirit, as a voice, just like Obi-Wan, or as Luke is going to be in this movie, just like how Obi-Wan was with Luke Skywalker in just as in A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back and in Return of the Jedi. So that's going to be kind of cool that they're continuing that lineage, like it's a generational thing. You see, you've got Obi-Wan, and then you've got Luke. Or you got Anakin, then you've got Luke, and then you've got Rey. So that's kind of cool that they're doing that. What else did we see? We saw Billy D. Williams. We saw the Millennium Falcon once again. So it's nice to see Billy D. Williams back, and not someone doing an impression of Billy D. Williams. Of course, I'm referring to Solo. So there was a lot of different things flashed. We saw a little bit more of Kylo Ren, repairing his helmet. There was rumors that Snoke wasn't really dead. We didn't see any of Snoke. I don't think that he's going to return. There have been rumors that J.J. Abrams wants to totally retcon The Last Jedi, and I don't think that's what's going to happen. There were a fair amount of people who still enjoyed The Last Jedi, such as myself, and I know I catch a lot of flack for that. A lot of people are like, what are you thinking? That you like that movie? What's wrong with you? People will question my Star Wars, fandom. And, that's what people do nowadays. And I saw some of the most ridiculous comments online today about this particular movie. I saw people saying, like, this movie's gonna be... There was one particular comment where... Did you ever see something on Instagram or on YouTube where the comment is so stupid, so brain dead, and so simple-minded that you can't help yourself but comment on it? Well, there was one particular comment, and what the comment read was something to the effect of, this movie is gonna be either really good or really bad. And I'm like... This comment here, I have to respond. And the funny thing is, this comment got like 3,000 likes, like almost nearly 4,000 likes. It was like 3,000 and a few hundred. And I'm like, what is this person even saying? Like, you could say that about every movie. It's either good or it's bad. Okay, yeah, there's some gray area in between. There's average, but you see what I'm saying? There was an article, I think, in Kotaku or Polygon where they said that about a video game, and it was like a joke. It's either going to be really good or really bad. I mean, that takes a real Albert Einstein, caliber person to come up with something like that. I mean, that's like Socrates or something like that. I mean, a great prophet, like, or maybe Confucius, someone, a wise man, could come up with such a statement as, it's either going to be really good or really bad. I mean, I'm sorry, I just can't stand certain fandoms. And there's a lot of good Star Wars fans, but there's also a lot of really bad, overly nerdy, too nerdy for their own good, too, you know, they've been watching Star Wars, for a while, just like me, you know, and they've been criticizing the movies. Like, we get it. You only like the original trilogy. You find nothing pleasing about the prequels. You don't like anything that the sequels have to offer. So the thing is, why don't you give up then? Honestly, why are you still watching the Star Wars saga if it's not going the way you like? And you're sitting there and people are like, oh, this is gonna suck. First of all, I don't even understand something. When The Force Awakens came out, almost everyone unanimously said, this is great, this is way better than anything George Lucas has done in the past 15 years or so. People were praising it. J.J. Abrams is a god. And then slowly but surely, because a few goofballs on the internet says, wow, this movie is similar to A New Hope. Maybe it's a little too similar. And then surely enough, everybody started to develop the same mindset. And then they were like, yeah, this is a lot like A New Hope. I think I'm going to brainwash myself, let myself be brainwashed into this. So, people started to hate The Force Awakens. And they didn't really start to hate it until The Last Jedi came out. And then everyone pretty much unanimously said, you know what? This whole sequel thing, it all sucks. So what happened to all the praise? It's like the same people that said they loved Revenge of the Sith when it first came out. Oh, this is the best of the prequels. And I would agree with that. Now, I really do like Attack of the Clones, and I do like a Phantom. I like the prequels a lot. I'm sorry, I said that a number of times on this channel. But, you know, the thing is, it was like Revenge of the Sith. When it came out, everyone was saying, and now, like, all of a sudden, everyone had, like, some type of revelation. Oh, it actually sucked. What was I thinking? Like, can you people stay consistent? Star Wars fans are some of the most inconsistent people I have ever seen. And that's why I gotta say, I really dislike a lot of Star Wars fans. I hate their attitudes. You know, people like what they like. You know, more power to you. You know, whatever floats your boat. That's why I say, if you like something, you like it. If you hate it, you hate it. But the thing is, I don't understand why people hang around Star Wars for so long just to badmouth it. And the comments are ridiculous what people are saying. They're on the Star Wars Instagram, on the video for the trailer, and they're bashing it left and right. And it's a teaser trailer. It's not even a full trailer. They flashed a lot of images. I'm saying if you weren't intrigued by at least a little something there in that trailer, then I'm sorry, but you're not a Star Wars fan. And I'm not saying that from the perspective that, like, you're not being a good Star Wars fan. I hate it when people say that you're not a good fan. Who are you to measure, you know, what makes a fan? But I'm saying, are you really a Star Wars fan if you spend your days bashing everybody who likes the new shit? By all means, I agree. The original trilogy is the best. It's probably not going to be beaten, ever. Because it's just not. First of all, it was George Lucas, and I don't care what anyone says. This is the funny thing. It's like, people were so hell-bent on George Lucas being taken off Star Wars. He created the fucking shit, you morons! You're all bashing him. Without George Lucas, none of this would even be possible. But then you were like, oh my god, I'm so happy he's off the project. And The Force Awakens was like the reawakening of Star Wars. And everyone just agreed, like, you know, everything that George Lucas does was complete crap. And, you know, like, let's ignore those follies. And I'm just scratching my head, like, do you ever really, is anyone out there, not just the Star Wars fans that I'm complaining about here, but does anyone out there in internet world Do you ever like sit there and really think about like what these people are saying? Like how ridiculous it sounds? You've never seen a crop of people like this. I think probably they're almost as bad as wrestling fans, which we also do a lot of here on this channel. It's like the same thing. The fandom is kind of split. You've got people who just make sense and want to be entertained, and then you've got a whole bunch of other people that, you know, just want to basically bitch and give the creators a hard time and say that, like, you know, the story is bad and they don't like the way the saga is going. And to that, I have to say, if you don't like the way it's going, we've had so many movies. You've been complaining since 1999, since The Phantom Menace has been released. Are you really going to keep doing that for every single movie? And it's the same group of people. It's the same hardcore Star Wars fans. But, like, I have to question, like, how hardcore they are. Because what does that mean? You know, if you're always bashing the shit out of the series, then how committed of a fan are you? How hardcore are you? You like the original trilogy, but you don't like anything else that's been done in the past 20 years. I said 15 before, but it's actually 20. 20 years ago, almost exactly, I think next month in May, it's going to mark exactly 20 years since The Phantom Menace was released. And that is going to commemorate the grand old pastime of bitching about Star Wars movies. And people have not stopped ever since. I mean, really think about that. 20 years straight of people being unsatisfied with the Star Wars saga. So, like, I have to ask the question once again, if you don't like it, why are you still continuing to follow it? I kind of, like, just think that, like, deep down, people like the movies, but they want people to think, like, you know, out in the outside world or on the internet, that they're really cool people with high standards. Like, oh, I can't like this because, you know, it has, like, some type of stigma attached to it. Other people, you know, are not going to think highly of me. I mean, like, who are we trying to impress here? Either you're entertained by the movie or you're not. You know, you have, like, people freaking out over such tiny things in these movies. Like, I've explained it even in the past. Like, for episode 1, people complained about Jar Jar Binks, and he's maybe in 10% of the movie, if you count all the minutes, you know, of that movie, which is like 2 hours and 20 minutes. You count up all the screen time that he was in the film, and you really look at it, and you see how people, like, overreacting. You know, a few times he may do something that was a little bit, you know, childish or silly, but they made like it ruined the whole fucking movie, like it was Jar Jar Binks do the whole thing. There's so many moments in that movie where he's not even on screen. And it's like they want to rewrite history. They want to basically say, well, you know, that movie was marred because he was in it. And then we moved on to Attack of the Clones, and it was like there was no Jar Jar Binks. They listened to the fans. They removed him. All for about 2 seconds we see him in the film. We got more action. We've got pretty much everything we're asking for. People will complain about the acting. They'll complain about hating Christensen. They'll completely ignore the fact that we had really good performances from Christopher Lee and Ewan McGregor. You know, and people are going to ignore the fact that how awesome Hayden Christensen was in Revenge of the Sith. But whatever. I'm just basically trying to state, you know, some very clear observations here that I've noticed over the 2 decades that people have been bitching about these films. They contradict themselves. It's an onward process. It's a never-ending process all it is basically like you want something out of a film, and then when you get it, you complain it's not good enough. I don't get it. I'll never understand these Star Wars fans. I don't, like, for example, we're talking about episode 9 here. Now, obviously, it's going to be a different story. We're getting characters returning, whether they're in, you know, ghost form or not, spirit form. You know, I don't know. People are not going to be satisfied with it, no matter how good that movie is, no matter how much it delivers. If there's like one small thing that somebody doesn't like, they're going to say the whole movie is bad. That's why I laugh at those types of comments when people say it's either good or really bad. It just shows that, like, that's their gauge. Like, they're just at the ready. They've already got their finger on the trigger. They're ready to pull that trigger and just say that the movie sucks, just like that. And there hasn't been a person probably more critical than me when it comes to films. But you know what? I don't know. Maybe it's just that I find the Star Wars saga so charming and lovable, and it's attached to my heart. I guess that's maybe why. Maybe I'm not fair enough, but like, you know, if you love a series and everything, and you enjoy the movies wholeheartedly, like, is that a crime? Because I always feel like that's who they go after. And they try to make, like, those fans are ignorant. And you got to be, like, high class. So you're going to attack people for, like, loving these films. You know, and having a high opinion of these films. It's like when I looked at the fan reviews for The Last Jedi, I'm like, you didn't find anything at all that was positive about that movie. So like everything was just horrible. Like, you know, that throne room lightsaber duel with Kylo Ren and Rey in the room with Snoke, or the relationship between Rey and Luke Skywalker. Like, you know, none of that connected with you. You didn't like that. You didn't like the exciting opening. There was nothing there. You didn't enjoy a single moment of the film. I don't know what to tell you guys. You know, hate on it, dislike it. You know, that's basically how it's going now. You like to bash it. I think you actually like to bash it more than you like to watch the films. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, I have high hopes for episode 9. I think what they showed seems very intriguing. Obviously, Palpatine was like the chill down your spine moment. That was an excellent way to end the trailer and get people excited for the film. Now, The Rise of Skywalker, you know, that's an interesting title right there. So is that like, is Rey actually the Skywalker? Is somehow she related to Luke? You know, we didn't get an answer about that in The Last Jedi, so it'll be interesting to see how they write that into the script and into the story. So, not really a lot else I could say. I kind of wanted to take this opportunity to do a little rant. I gave you my thoughts, and hope you guys all enjoyed it. So, if you did, please leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, click the bell so you get all the notifications, and guys, I'll see you next time.